Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jack. These are my adventures. You know, life is an adventure, whether you're out on an ATV ride, whether you're prospecting, whether you're out hunting or fishing or whatever. Every time you go out, it is an adventure. And I just love to share my adventures with you. And I'm in Arizona. It's wintertime now. I guess it's wintertime. We're in December. So it is cooler right now. It's nice to go out. The ground is nice and dry. And I love to go prospecting. So I thought today what I was going to do was prospect. I got some dirt. You know, you've been hearing a lot of talk about these Thompson Drywashers. Some people might like them. Some people might not like them. I don't know if you're familiar with the Drywasher or not, but that's what I want to do today. I want to talk about dry washing. I want to talk about the Thompson Drywasher in particular. And we'll kind of show you how the dry washers work. We'll run some material that I've got pre-classified that I got out in someplace. I don't even know where I got it at. But anyway, we'll run some material through that and see if there's any gold in it. But I'll show you some of the methods of running the material through there. And we'll kind of see what happens. But hey, thanks for coming along. Please like, share, subscribe. All my new patrons, I sure want to thank you guys for supporting the channel. Credits will, I'll put your guys' names into the credits at the end of the video, but I sure appreciate you guys supporting the channel, all you guys. And we do giveaways for you guys special. Like, I appreciate you guys, your support. Anyways, let's go play in the dirt. Let's go see if we can get some gold. We love gold, don't we? Let's go get us some gold. You got some equipment like this here. This here is what they call the gold well. Some people have liked these here. You'd have to fill this full of water and just recirculate the water. It uses a 12-volt pump. But it takes water. Now, if you're, at your house or something where you got plenty of water, it's pretty good. But when you got to haul the water out to the desert, that's another story. Dry washers. Here's a big Keen dry washer right here. That's a big boy. This little Thompson dry washer. A lot of talk about the Thompson Drywasher, some good, some bad, but that's what I'm going to do today, is we're going to talk about this Thompson Drywasher. I've seen one of these before. This is called the Easy Pickings. This guy died, I think, back in, I don't know, they came out in the 90s or something. They're in Arizona. He's been gone for a long time, but this was a vacuum, and you would vacuum the dirt up, and then it would go up into the tray and then fall down on the dry washer, and that kind of shook. But that was called the Easy Pickings. It was all one machine, the vacuum and the dry washer all in one. We'll have to play with that one day. This piece of machinery right here, this is more for cleanup. After you run material or something, you can come back and sit there and then they just kind of run it over there, whether you're dredging or high banking or dry washing. You can just clean up with that machine right here. Yeah, more production type. There's a good cleanup machine with the cube. This has the high banker tray on top. You got a bunch of trommels, or here's a trommel. These are all high bankers right here. This is a pond that we set up and recirculate out of that pond when we have our events and our outings. But this is all just high bankers and different pieces of equipment that we use. So you have two different types of machines. This one is known as a puffer. And this one right here, this one uses some type of a motor, whether it's leaf blower or bigger motor, and it's got a fan up in here. On this type of a dry washer, it uses a constant airflow. So the air is coming up here constantly. It's got a fan in here. And then the air blows that fan, spins that fan around, and that's what blows air up into the box there. They have a counterweight on here that throws that off balance, and that's what causes the shaking action. So in a box like this here, when you're using a constant air, you pretty well run these boxes more flat. You can see, so it's more level, because you want that material to stay up on top as long as possible before it comes over the sides. And it just kind of comes down, just makes a little wave as it goes back and forth. And you'll notice that the riffles are backwards on a sluice box. This is a Hungarian style riffle because they have the bend here, where a standard riffle is just like this one here, just straight bend. And on a puffer style, it's got more of a pitch, because the same riffles kind of concept are the same riffles. But what happens, you've got these flaps in here. And so generally you have a windshield wiper type motor that's just going up and down. And as this goes down, these flaps come open and it fills the box with air. Then as it goes up, it pushes against this so the air can't escape, and then it pushes the air up inside your box. So it's just kind of puffing us way down. Puff, 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 puff. So the angle needs to be a little steeper to get rid of the material off of it. I think you probably get a little better recovery with the constant air than you do with the puffer style, just because of the angle, but they do perfect and they do well. This here is the Thompson Drywasher. This probably weighs under 20 pounds. It's just lightweight, uses the 12-volt battery. It's easy to pack around, easy to carry. This big one, this big Keen 151, this uses a big motor. What's good about this, you can set this up and shovel in from the other side of the bank, and it ain't going anywhere. So what I'm going to do with this here is I've got a couple buckets of material that I'm going to run through here. I've got this chute pretty well wide open. So I'm going to run it one time as fast as basically I can go, to show you how fast I can put this material through here. Then I'm going to take the material and run it back through again, but each time I want to go pan it out and see what kind of gold is in each run. That is, of course, assuming there's gold in the buckets, which there should be. Also want to show you, like, if you're using the constant air, you'd use like a leaf blower. So you'd just put this here on too, because this is blowing out your air right here, and you'd hook this up to your dry washer. But these also double as a vacuum. So while this is sitting on top of this here, that is sucking air into the side of the motor right there and blowing it out right there. But of course all the dirt just gets settled in there, and you use this hose. And you can just sit there and just vacuum bedrock or vacuum the dirt up, the hard pack. So if you're using that type of a dry washer, then you're using the same motor. Basically, you can use it for the dry washer and to vacuum. If you're using a puffer style with the battery, then you still, you can haul this around if you still want to vacuum up the area after you're done. These are just little lawn and garden batteries, tractor batteries. You probably can run this thing for probably maybe 5 hours. Plenty of time. If you have a little solar panel that you can take up in the desert, set it up there, you can run that there. Just so you know, gold does separate better in water than it does with air. But when you're out in the desert and the dirt is fairly dry, dry washers can be, well, I like to use a dry washer. I think it's one of the best methods to get gold. So that's how I like to do. I like to run a dry washer. You can haul all that water out to the desert. That dry dirt sucks up a lot of that water. You can go through a lot of water, and then you start to deal with the muck, and it just becomes, a mess, a muddy mess. So I can still get almost just as good with the dry washer in production and the gold recovery than I will with, hauling water out there. But say I'd like to use the dry washer. It works for me. May not work for you, but the dirt does have to be fairly dry. Some people don't like the dust. You can wear a mask if you want to wear a mask, just to, protect yourself from the dust. And then of course, if you use the constant air, the motor type, it probably produces more dust than the puffer style too. Puffer probably produce less dust. And some states are outlawing leaf blowers, and you can't use those type of motors anymore. So these 12-volt puffer style dry washers are becoming very popular. Like I said, they're lightweight, they're easy to use, so let's dump some dirt through it. Well, you saw how fast I ran through that. I pretty well just poured those two 5-gallon buckets full of dirt. They've been classified down to, what do they do? Quarter of an inch. They were classified down to half inch. And then most dry washers have a half-inch classifier on them also. So, you know, you really don't have to classify your material when you're out in the desert and bringing it back or using it out there, because the dry washers already have that half-inch screen on it anyways. What I'll do now is take this tray out of here, and then I'm going to go pan this out. And we'll see if there's any gold in there. There's my pan, my concentrates. Pan this out fairly quick just because I want to see what's in there. I'm going to stratify, get all that gold to the bottom. Notice how my pan's always angled. Always working the gold down towards those ripples at all times. Never change. And then just slowly kind of let the water come in and carry that lighter sand out. Re-stratify, re-shake it all over the place, get the gold to work back down in case any of that gold starts to creep out. You can see that blonde sand, and it's just kind of, it's black again, black sand. Blonde, lighter sand sits up on top. Get rid of that blonde sand. Do that quite a few times. Okay. And now let's take a little sneaky peek. Let me go out in the sun. Let's see how you can see. Oh, there's gold. I see gold. Look at that. Look at all that gold. Woo-hoo, baby. Looking good, huh? Look at it all. Whoa. Nice chunky pieces in there. So that is nice gold. So that was 2 buckets of dirt, running it as fast as I can through that dry washer, and then panning that out. And that's the type of gold I got. So now I'm going to run that material again. Okay, now what I'm going to do is dump this sand back into these buckets again. Okay, again, you saw how fast that ran through there. Now let me go clean this up and see what's in here on the second run. concentrates, not the tailings. Concentrates go in there. Grab that and get that gold that goes to the bottom right there. It's all wet, mixed up. And now I'll quickly pan that out again. Nice, shaking up. Really shaking up really good. And quickly again, pan this out. I could use a safety pan if I want to, but it's just going in this tub, so I can't. If I want to rerun the tub, run it through a little wet system or something, I could do that. Okay, that's pretty well. All the blonde sand is gone. All that's left is the black sand. All I want is that black sand. I could keep taking it down, but as I do, the more chance I take it down, the more chance I can take to lose some gold. So let's just leave it there, get back out in the sun and look at this. Okay, fan that on back. See the gold? Not very much at all, but there's still gold in there. Even that fine gold, powdery gold, but there's still gold in there. Still gold. It still catches gold. Okay, so that was the second run. That was still probably, I don't know, what would you say, 20%, 15%? That's why some people say they only run it once, they don't run it twice. Of course, you know, if you run it twice, you're going to get that percentage that you lost. But if some people say don't look back, so if I'm getting 80% and I run new material, I'd rather keep getting that 80% rather than the 20%, 15% that I keep losing. Other people say, I want to take it all, I want it all, I want all that gold. So it's just a matter of preference. I think what I need to do now, one more time, I'll put this material back into the buckets and I'll run it again. So that's what I'll do. I'll put the material back in the bucket, and then I'm going to close this chute down and run it where it should be at a lot slower pace, and we'll see if I get any more gold out of there. See how you can see your riffles better? You see the ridges? That's what you like to see when you're running a dry washer. You want to see each one of them is coming down. So that's running perfect right there. Can you just hear how much more quieter that is compared to a big old leaf blower out in the desert, just humming away, making all that noise? People can hear you for miles out there. It's just a little puffing sound, almost puts you to sleep. Puff, 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 puff. Yeah, nice, slow and easy. You also notice it's less dusty. Doesn't produce as much dust. It's all gone. Dump it. Get that tray out of here. Now let's take our good old stuff and go pan this out. Okay, there's my concentrates into the pans. I like riffles in front. Mix that up. Okay, ready to go. Now we pan that out quickly again. People accuse me of panning too fast. I do. I admit it. I lose a little bit of gold now and then. I think everybody can lose gold. It's all down there at the bottom. And then start panning it out. The trick is to stratify. Once that gold's at the bottom there, underneath all of that black sand, it should be down there in that first riffle. And it's hard to lose gold. It's the lighter stuff that kind of floats, or, you know, that's lighter than some of the black sand. That's the stuff that you're going to lose. Flat pieces maybe that will ride on out. Get rid of all that blonde sand. That's okay. That's about gone. Okay. Let's take a peek. Ooh, look at that. See how flat that piece is? Still cut more though. Cut some more of that fine gold. That one nice piece right there. That's a nice little piece. All right, I like it. So if you run the dry washer the proper way, you'll get the best recovery rate. Dry washers might only have maybe, I don't know, 85, 95, 90 something % recovery rate. So you want to run it the most effective and most efficient way possible to get all of that gold. And they're back in the buckets again. Well, I could probably run that again and maybe get a little more, but I'm not going to do that. I think I got all I'm going to need. Yeah, I got some good gold, didn't I? Yeah, that was pretty good. I got to go back to that spot. Where was it at? Where was it at? We don't know. There's my 3 pans. There's my 3 pans. That was the first run. Was that the first run? Yeah, that was the first run. Ooh, look at all that gold. Woo-hoo. That was the first run. This one here was the second run. Running it still wide open the second time. And it caught some stuff. And then I ran it the proper way a third time through there. Got that one nice flake. And a little bit of the fines. See a little bit more of the fines. If I would have ran that the proper way the first time, probably would not have had to run it second or third times. Well, dry washing is not for everybody, but like I say, I enjoy dry washing. I'm in Arizona, and that's about all I do. Once in a while, I might bring back a bucket if I just want to sit and relax and kind of spoon feed it into some type of recirculator. I've been known to do that too, but my favorite is dry washing. When you are out in the desert or any place and you just pick up the gravels or the dirt that's there, and if you squeeze it, and see how that just breaks apart, you can dry wash. But if that clumps together and it don't break apart, then it's probably too moist or too wet to dry wash. And one reason dry washing isn't the best method, see these little clogs? You don't break them up with the dry washer. When you run it wet, the water will dissolve these clogs, and so that's what you're going to lose, any gold that's in there with the dry washer. But when it's up on the screen, just try to run your hands up and down and smash as much of them little clogs as you can. Always wear gloves, but when you got your clogs, just run your hands, just smash them down. And you can see on this dry washer, although it is 12 volts, it does have a hand crank that you can disconnect it right here and hook this up to the hand crank. And then you can just sit there and hand crank it. If you have that energy, yeah, you're doing pretty good. It's good to have it. Maybe you'll be out in the desert and your battery goes dead and you just got a little bit more to do, so you just want to do that. Or maybe you're sneaking into the backwoods and you don't want anybody to hear you. So you just, of course, batteries don't make any noise anyway, so, but you just poof, 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 poof. Anyways, that is the Thompson Drywasher. I like the Thompson Drywasher. I think it works perfect. It's lightweight, it's easy to use, and I like it. When I'm in Arizona, see that hot sun? Ooh, yeah. No, in Arizona it works perfectly. But the ground has to be dry, and you have to run them efficiently to get the most out of it. But anyways, I like a dry washer. Today we'll fire this bad boy up, and I'll show you how this thing works. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming along, enjoying, sharing on these adventures. So y'all be safe out there. Please like, share, subscribe. Until our paths cross again, you guys all take care of yourself, and thanks for watching. We'll see you. Goodbye.